Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Rasco Garage. We're back out here in the garage. We're going to be doing some fabricating today. This video in particular, we're going to build a cutting jig for my bandsaw so I can cut collectors, and maybe we'll make some more pieces for it or some more templates or guides so we can cut some of our header tubing. But main focus today is so we can cut some collectors. I'm going to be making some 2-in-1 collectors for my 2.5-inch exhaust for my E36 right here. So let's go get our materials here. So I've had a couple things laying around getting ready for this. So got a piece of a 1x1 piece of aluminum that we're going to be using. And then we got some hardware. Where is it? I had one out there. So we got a couple of these aluminum standoffs and some hardware to go with it. I think these and these are the ones I'm looking for. Oops. Let's grab that and this. Get back over to the bench. Yep, so we're going to be using our trusty old bandsaw there from Harbor Freight. Alright, and I have one other piece of material as well that I'll show you guys. So we got this. So 2.5-inch stainless. We're going to be making collectors out of this, and I want to make my cuts as consistent as possible. So I got some HDPE, the high density polyethylene, I believe is the name of it. So these are actually, if you look closely, these are actually plastic 2x6s. It's meant to like replicate like actual wood, like for landscape or something. This was the cost-effective approach. I have, if you can see behind my broom and all this, these are 8-footers. So I have two 8-footers that I can produce mini templates out of for my cutting jig. So like I said, if you take a look around, I'm in my garage. So I'm trying to do all this stuff on as much of a budget, you know, kind of working smarter, not harder, so to speak. So I'm going to use that plastic to make basically templates to hold my tubing in place depending on what kind of tubing I'm using based on centerline radius. So in today's video we're going to be making one specifically for that 90-degree elbow bend to make my 2-to-1 collector. So with that said, let's get the camera up, let's start taking some measurements and get this project underway. Okay, so we got the standoff welded on here, positioned correctly. Then all I did was I drilled a hole here at 10.5 centimeters in, and then basically I took it over the bandsaw and I cut 2 lines to get our guide area for the bandsaw cuts. So now I have my template here that I can throw on there. Now this particular block is specific to this 90-degree elbow 2.5-inch pipe, or stainless steel tube rather, because I have it set up in a manner where it's 1 inch. So basically what it'll do is I measured it an inch off of the edge because I want my collector to land at a 2-inch gap between the tubes. That gives me enough room to weld on my flex tubes, and it's easy to work around. So it's not too tight where I don't have a whole lot of clearance. It's easier for me to weld. That's how I like to make my collectors at this point in time. So then what we do is we're gonna lock this thing down. Basically the washer just squeezes it down. Oh, that one's not centered. So we're just going to want to get it nice and centered. Alright, we'll lock that down. So now for me, it's just about being consistent and effective. So now I can take, let's go get a clamp so you can see the full effect of this thing. So then all you do is you take a clamp and we can just lock the tube into place like so. So now we can walk that straight over to the bandsaw, throw it in, and we can make repeatable collector cuts over. Okay, here we go. We just cut this piece. I cut this piece just a second ago. And so far, so good. Pretty simple. This was I actually ended up using some U-bends that I had. So I'm able to maximize the piece. This one has a flared out end, but I'm gonna cut it anyways. So there you have it. A couple nice pieces of collector ready to go. So a couple hours worth of work, worth of fabrication and creation to build this tool. So now I'm equipped to make collectors relatively easily, as long as I put the tube in the jig level and consistent. That's the key. Like it's repeatability. So now I have a tool that I could use. I can walk over the bandsaw, I can put it in a vertical position, I can cut it, I can still cut tube, I can cut pie cuts because I don't have to change from the horizontal to the complete vertical setup. I can just use the just a saw guide by itself. I don't have to put the whole deck or anything on it. So I've saved some time, made myself a little bit more efficient and consistent. So now I can start pumping out these collectors. Instead of it taking a few hours, maybe it'll take 30 minutes now or 45 minutes. I'm cutting way back on my time by creating these tools and these jigs to help me be more repeatable and consistent. So hopefully this video helped. Something you could easily do in the garage. Oh, by the way, so parts cost-wise, the most expensive thing was getting the high density polyethylene to plastic. So there's all kinds of places you could source that from, or if you have the skills to do some 3D printing and things like that, by all means, that'd probably be your best bet. That was the most expensive component, but I have enough of that plastic. I can make as many jigs as I could possibly require. So definitely have a little bit extra left over from that sense. But in terms of hardware, I got, this is just a piece of aluminum, 12" by 12", so 1 foot by 1 foot. This hardware, there's an aluminum standoff underneath this, so total like metal hardware wise, it was about 30 bucks. And if you look online to find one of these cutting jigs and how much it costs, albeit it comes with some nice plastic jigs to hold your tube in, which is probably the most expensive part of it, but they're 600 or 700 bucks. So this took me 2 hours worth of time and about $30 worth of material. And I'm already cutting. I'm making collectors today. So hopefully this helps. You know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe if you like the content. There's more coming out of Rasco Garage. So until next time, thanks for watching.